In today's video, we're going to chat a little bit about how to test business ideas. Remember that we're busy with a free business mentoring course. We're busy with phase 1 of phase 6 of the course itself, and the section that I'm going to be doing with you guys today is the second section. Remember the first section we were looking at how to develop business ideas, and this section we're going to be talking about testing business ideas. And I think that's really, really important, because sometimes people get these crazy ideas and think, I want to start this business. Then they go wait and start, and then all of a sudden they say, no, this thing doesn't work, and maybe they spend a lot of money developing that specific idea. So it's always a good thing to test business ideas before you start taking it further. And I think, so let me maybe jump down to my computer, and then I'm going to show you guys quickly what I've prepared for you guys in terms of how to test ideas. Like I said, this Word document that I'm going to be talking about, in the description of this video, there's a link to a web page, and you'll see on that web page you can go download the same document. Then you can go and complete it yourself. Just complete it and see work through it systematically, and then obviously you will get the results at the end of the day. Let me jump to my computer, then I can show you quickly what this section is about. So the whole concept about testing ideas, like I said, the previous video we were talking about how to develop business ideas, or we used the thing which they call a business idea generator. But now we can look at testing business ideas. And I think the first thing is how to create a minimum viable product. So outline the basic version of your product or service that you can create to test the market. Prompt what simple version of your idea can you create with a minimal investment to gather feedback. And I think that's always really important, because you don't want to I think when you start with a business, you can either start a service-related type of business, or you can just start a business where you're actually selling something physical. So the service one is quite easy, because if you decide that you're going to do massages, or you're going to start a nail parlor or something like that, obviously those type of things will develop out of a hobby or out of a skill or something like that you learn. And you can go to all your friends and family and stuff, say, guys, I'm doing nails, come visit me and stuff, and do a couple of these, and just see what the feedback is about your idea. And I think that's a very simple way to do it when it comes to services. I think when it comes to products, it does become a bit more technical, because obviously if you get this idea of this product that you want to develop, then you would obviously have to test that idea. And I think a great example that I want to use is one of my personal friends has got a business where they import stuff from overseas, and they obviously distribute it wholesale to clients in South Africa. And it's so one of the things that they import is actually earrings. So it's a very interesting concept. So he trades with seashells, which is also a very interesting business. But then he saw that if he imports the earrings completed, his duties are very, very high on the completed earrings, because they're classified as jewelry. Where if he imports the seashells itself, and he goes and buys all the different parts to create those earrings in South Africa, and he has a couple of people, then they can actually produce those same earrings at a much lower cost. So even with that as well, he had to start first with a minimum viable product. It's okay, let me create 100 of these earrings and test it in the market, send it out to the wholesalers, put it in people's shops, and see what the feedback is, whether people actually like it, before he goes and invest millions of rands in developing the equipment and buying all the tools and stuff to produce it in South Africa. So I think that is just one of the examples, but you can think of many different examples of if you have this business idea of what it is that you want to make, first produce a minimum viable product and see how many you need to create just to test the market. If you see that there's a big demand for that, then you can go ahead and create further, or look at plans of how to mass produce the specific item it is that you are looking at creating. Obviously this will come from your business idea. So minimum viable product is really important, especially if you're thinking of producing certain stuff. Feedback methods, I think, is really important as well, to identify how you will gather feedback from potential customers, friends, or experts, and consider using surveys, social media, direct conversations. So I think that is also really cool. These days in the land of social media, I think if you look at Facebook, if you look at Instagram, all that type of stuff, it's a really cool place if you want to start testing certain products and to test it and see how the market would react to that. And I always laugh, when people test products, it is interesting to think who people would normally approach first. So they say it's always wise not to go to friends or family, because I always think of this analogy of these guys that take part in America's Got Talent, and this guy sings terribly, and then those judges come to them and say, listen, but who told you can sing? And the guy would say, no, but my mom said I can sing nicely. So you don't want a situation like that. It is normally wise. I mean, you can bounce ideas off friends and family and say, what do you guys think about this? But I think the best would always be to put it out in the public, or select few people that you want to talk about the product about, and just to test the idea with them, because I think friends and family might be a little bit biased when it comes to their opinion of that. Yeah, so I think different feedback methods. I think it's good to write one or two things out, to say that you maybe want to try Instagram maybe as a start, and maybe Facebook, and then after that to maybe go to markets or whatever it is that you want to do, to find that different feedbacks. And I think key testing questions, just the important questions to ask during your testing, focusing on demand, pricing, and feasibility. Prompt what questions will you ask to validate your business idea? So I think if you're looking at demand, you would obviously ask the question, would you buy this? I think when it comes to pricing, you would say, what do you guys think is a fair price for this specific product? And then obviously feasibility, whether that product will stand. And I think especially when it comes to that, that's always an interesting debate, because if you start selling something that is already known, let's say for instance, you want to start selling coffee beans. There's a lot of people who make coffee beans, and they make excellent coffee, but it's already a product that is already well known, where if you develop something new, then you have to create the demand for that product yourself. So quite often you would use platforms like social media, Instagram and stuff, and say, guys, look at this thing, look at something new that I'm busy making. I remember one of my clients, and this is a good example as well. They moved to New Zealand probably about 10 years ago, but they started a company there where they make stickers that sticks on shoes. So for youngsters, so it's all these little funky stickers that you can put on your vans and all those type of things. But it's something completely new. So the way that you would test your market with that is completely different from testing something like coffee beans, So I think there's really important certain things. If it's something new, you would have to create the demand for it yourself. And I think that's also really important. We're going to talk about marketing a bit later in the course as well, but it's always important to make sure that you have a couple of questions on hand. I think next thing is to test the results. And I said to record the feedback and insights that you gain from your testing your idea, what people said about your minimum viable product, and what adjustments can you make based on the feedback. So I think that's also important, just to get the feedback from the people, see what you can change, what need to change, what you must do different, because you don't want to go spend a lot of money creating something that people might not be interested in. I think, competitive analysis, this is also really good. We did touch on it previously as well. No, we haven't touched it. We're still going to get to that. But to compare your business idea to existing competitors in the market. So I think that's also important, to look at the product that you're creating, and I think to go compare it with other people in the market that's doing something similar, and just looking at your pricing, the quality of your product and stuff, I think that's important to look at that as well. So how does your idea differ from your competitors, and what unique value does your idea provide? So over there you can look a little bit about your strengths and weaknesses, and then obviously you can look at your competitors, see what is their strength and their weaknesses, compare it to strengths and weaknesses, compare it 3 as strengths and weaknesses. And then I think the final thing about testing ideas is just whether to proceed or whether to pivot, or whether you must develop that product or that idea a little bit further before you actually take it to the market to start producing it, is what it is that you want to do. So pivot to proceed, and based on your feedback that you've gathered, decide whether to continue with the idea, make adjustments, or pivot into a new direction. Will you move forward with your idea, make changes, or explore new directions? And the question would then be, why? So I think that is that for today. Like I say, it's really, really important. This is a really important part of the thing, because otherwise, if you don't test your ideas, you might go think this is the golden bullet, the thing that everybody's going to love, and you're going to maybe spend a lot of money producing a product, and at the end of the day, it might be that that's not viable. I was thinking a while ago about those fidget spinners. I don't know if you guys remember that. The demand for that thing was overnight, and everybody wanted a fidget spinner. And it was just a couple of months, and that thing faded away. And you think how many people spend millions and millions of rands to produce those things. And today, you don't even find a fidget spinner anymore, which is interesting. I think the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be defining your target market. So I think that is going to be really, really cool. And so stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you guys for the next one.